So starting yesterday, the Sologenic team began the airdrops to Sologenic and XRP holders. I've actually gotten some of those airdrops to some of my holdings, and I haven't received them to others. And so in this video, I'll talk about the airdrop, but I'm also going to talk about the upcoming quarium airdrop and what Solo holders can expect and how much core tokens that Solo holders can expect to receive. And there's some interesting pricing action that's been going on since the airdrop started, so I'm going to cover it in this video. Speaking of markets, Bitcoin, well, it's been dropping and dropping and dropping, mostly because of liquidation events. I'm going to tell you how much was just liquidated in the past 24 hours. It's a crazy amount. And it seems like these amounts are getting bigger and bigger regardless of Bitcoin dropping further and further. Altcoins are also getting wiped out, including Ethereum. So I'm going to go over what some of these markets look like and what some of the indicators are now flashing, some of which we haven't seen in 3 or 4 years. Some of which flash major buy signals, but I'll let you decide whether that's a buy signal or not. I'm also going to talk about passive income nodes. Now, this is a decentralized finance application that has just come about more recently within the past year or so. So in this video, I'm going to talk about some of the ones that are actually going on and have been going strong for the past year or so, as well as talk about some of the risk elements. As recently, some of these nodes as a service investments that produce passive income were recently rug pulls. So I'm going to tell you some things to look out for, as well as some information on how you can actually look out for the good ones to earn some passive income. And finally, I'm going to wrap up this video by talking about Jeremy Hogan's recent tweet in which he actually answered somebody in his thoughts about the Ripple settlement and when it could actually happen. In my last video, I said, Jeremy Hogan said in August or September. So I'm going to give you a more recent answer to that question. Hey everyone, my name is Randy and welcome back to the Late Night Grind. Right now I'm covering the Ripple versus the SEC case, but I'm also covering cryptocurrency news, investment markets, and personal finance. So if any or all those topics interest you, make sure you join the Late Night Grind community, hit the subscribe button, also that bell notification icon so that YouTube will notify you when I release a new video. If you're feeling generous, I'd appreciate it if you do 2 things. Smash the thumbs up button and watch this video all the way to the end. Those really are the 2 best things that you can do to support a YouTube channel. So if you do that, I greatly appreciate it. All right, guys, let's jump into it. So first, let's talk about the Solo airdrop that is actually happening currently. So the last update that I saw was from Bob Ross, who said it's actually going to take several days to complete. A more recent answer to that question said it's actually going to take about 3.5 days to fully complete. Yesterday, I did not get any Solo airdrops. However, when I checked this morning, in 3 of the 4 accounts in which I either hold Solo or XRP had actually received the Solo token airdrop. So I received my airdrop to the Solo Dex wallet, where I hold the majority of my Solo tokens. I also got the airdrop to my Bitforex account, in which I hold some more Solo tokens over there, as well as a little bit of XRP. And I also got a small airdrop to the Gate.io exchange that I use for some trading, which I had some XRP in. However, in my Uphold account, which is where I had the majority of my XRP for the snapshot, have not received any airdrop of Solo tokens to that exchange, but I expect it soon. So there's going to be a couple of days. Let me know in the comment section below if you haven't gotten any or if you have gotten all of your Solo tokens. Now, in terms of what you can actually expect if you're looking to sell Solo right away, if you want to sell it right now, it's probably worth about 50 cents. It was interesting of note that before the airdrop, the price of Sologenic was about 50 cents. Once the airdrop had started and Solo tokens started hitting the market, the price action started to increase. A lot of people thought it would actually decrease, and it didn't increase. It went to 55 cents, then 60, 65 cents, and finally 67 cents before it stopped increasing. And as of today, it had actually pulled back down to right at that 50 cent level, and it's been holding that 50 cent level all day. That's pretty much what I expect the floor to be for these Solo tokens to be sold off, because I think a lot of the people that are actually holding these Solo tokens are holding, A, because they believe the value is going to go up with the NFT marketplace launch at the end of the month, and B, they also want to get into that snapshot for the quarium airdrop that's going to be happening, the first one happening in February to all Solo holders. So if you're getting the Solo airdrop and the price is at 50 cents, well, if you expect some big buzz to happen because of the NFT marketplace launching on the 27th, you're probably right, and you at least want to see what the speculation and what all the buzz is about towards the end of the month. I'd expect the price of Solo tokens to actually climb. As far as predictions, I have absolutely no idea. It could go to $1 and then pull back. It might go to $3 and then pull back. Who really knows? The NFT marketplace is going to be is going to be advertised everywhere. You're going to see a lot of people talking about it as the first major one on the XRP ledger with absolutely no gas fees. That is a key selling point, and keep this in mind for my next segment. So as far as quarium, I wanted to quick cover that because I did see the report on the quarium airdrop as to how much core solo holders will be getting. It is actually 0.115 core tokens for every solo token that you hold. So if you have 1,000 solo tokens, you can expect to receive about 115 core tokens for their first snapshot. Now keep in mind, Core is actually doing their airdrops throughout the course of the entire year. They're actually doing 12 airdrops, one per month. So they took a snapshot in December of solo holders, and they're taking another snapshot in January of solo holders, and those two snapshots will both be delivered in February. So you could expect, so if you have 1,000 solo tokens, you could expect about 230 core tokens for the December and January snapshots to be delivered in February, and after that, as long as you hold your solo tokens, approximately 115 core tokens will be delivered to your account every single month for the whole year if you hold solo for the whole year. So these are some brand new projects. The price is pretty low. So if you want to talk about a good time to get in early, you might want to take a look at holding those tokens. And it fits right in line with my strategy that if you hold XRP, Core, and Solo, that it's probably going to be a pretty good year for you, especially when XRP gets its regulatory clarity. All right, so let's talk about the Bitcoin market because it's continuing to drop. It's continuing to have liquidation events. As of about an hour ago, in the last 24 hours previous, there was over $900 million of crypto liquidations. The majority of that, of course, being Bitcoin, the majority of that on Binance. That's what usually is the case. People still continue to bet that the price of Bitcoin is going up, and they're continuing to use massive amounts of leverage. This is typically what happens. People are waiting for these short squeezes to happen when people are shorting and betting with leverage that the price of Bitcoin is going to go down, and when it doesn't, the price ratchets up the other way as all these shorts are then liquidated. But nonetheless, a lot of the altcoin markets are down. Literally everybody's down. Especially Ethereum right now. Ethereum's down almost 8% on the day, is down below 2,700 at one point. And to make matters worse, if you are an Ethereum fan or an Ethereum holder, yesterday, JP Morgan put out a statement basically saying or conceding that Ethereum, now keep in mind JP Morgan is actually one of Ethereum's early investors, although you won't actually technically hear them say that. JP Morgan said that they believe Ethereum is losing tons and tons of customers due to high gas fees. Well, congratulations, JP Morgan. You've known what people in the crypto community have known for a good 10 months now. If you were looking for straight, cheaper gas fees, you could always go to Solana or, I don't know, the XRP ledger. So what are some of these signals that are now flashing, at least to me, flash a major buy signal, or at least according to some of these on-chain analysis that I watch on a daily or weekly basis? Well, number one, the weekly RSI. The weekly RSI on Bitcoin is now at 30, which it's only touched 3 times since 2016. And all those other previous 3 times that it actually hit it, meaning dropping into it, not increasing above it, it's actually signaled the very beginnings of major bull markets, either major run-ups at price point or major run-ups for a couple of months in price point. And these major upswings were either weeks or a couple of months away from those buy signals. The other one is the short-term holders holding Bitcoin are now at extremely low levels. The short-term holders that hold Bitcoin are now at the same levels that they were in 2015. That's a long time ago in the crypto world. Now in 2019 and in 2020, it hit close to those levels, but not quite that low. And every single time it hit these levels that I'm talking about, it was the signal of what? You guessed it, major price increases, major bull markets. And finally, I've been talking about this signal for a while. I mentioned it on my video probably once a week or so. The amount of Bitcoin that's actually left on exchanges to buy is nearing ridiculously low levels. It is actually at the same level that it was exactly 4 years ago, in January of 2018. There is now only 12.2% of all of Bitcoin's entire supply on exchanges, even available to be sold. And I believe that the amount of people holding it on exchanges are people that simply went to Coinbase, bought Bitcoin because their son or their neighbor or their relative or somebody told them to, and so they did, and they're just holding it on an exchange rather than putting it on a digital wallet and not having to mess with that. So out of that 12%, I think it's probably way less than 0.5%, maybe even 1% that even is thinking about selling Bitcoin. So nonetheless, nonetheless, by the time this market capitulates and goes to the upswing, there's just not going to be that much Bitcoin left to buy. So those are the indicators that have been getting my attention lately. So now let's talk about nodes as a service, nodes as a passive income in the crypto world. They've been gaining popularity, number one, because there's one called Strong Blocks. And if you got into it earlier last year, you could have bought something called a strong node. Basically, you had to buy 10 strong tokens, and with that, you could buy a strong node. And when you have a node, you could earn daily or weekly rewards from the strong token. Now it has since exploded. It went up to $1,400 per strong token. It came all the way crashing back down to about $500 or $600 per strong token. I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of about $600 per strong currently. And so these nodes actually pay rewards to those who paid in to actually host one of these nodes. Well, these have been gaining popularity, and recently there's been a couple of rug pulls in similar types of programs. The most known one that I came across was Ring Finance, which was recently determined as a rug pull. So basically, as the token gained in value and as more and more people bought these Ring nodes to try and earn passive income and rewards on a daily basis and got more and more popular, it was basically either A, it was unsustainable, and so they just basically shut the whole thing down, or B, it was designed as a rug pull, and they just waited till it had enough value, and they basically sold everything all at once and shut the whole thing down. Well, there's been a few more copycat, and some of which I've been looking into, and some of them, they look like they're unsustainable Ponzi schemes, and other ones look like they're much more legitimate. So there's a few things that you're going to want to look out for if you are looking into nodes for passive income. Number one, how much do they pay in rewards on a daily or weekly basis? Where do they get those? Where do they get that revenue from? Is it from other people buying more nodes? Is it because of the investments that they're doing in yield farming? Is it because of the investments that they're doing in setting up other nodes on other networks? Is it in other DeFi assets that they've been investing into? Or is it from other revenue producing projects like NFT projects, lending programs, staking programs, etc.? Where do they get their revenue from to pay the rewards into these node projects? So those are some things that you'll definitely want to look out for if you're looking into them. So as I was putting this together for a video, I want to do a solo video just on nodes as a service or passive income from nodes specifically. So there's a couple that I'm looking into right now. Number one is Thor, which is probably one of the more popular ones. There's also Vapor nodes and Power nodes. Now, some of these are higher on the risk scale, and some of these other ones are a little bit lower on the risk scale. So I'm going to go over some of the rewards, how they actually pay the rewards, and what the longevity of some of these services actually look like. So I figured a solo video on this topic would be much more relevant than trying to cram it into a 2 or 3 minute segment on my daily update video. So if you do want to learn more about the passive income from nodes, then stick around for that solo video. Keep an eye out for it. And finally, Jeremy Hogan gives another update on Twitter as to when he thinks this settlement could or could not happen between Ripple and the SEC. He was actually posting about the recent CBDC report that I saw, giving his thoughts, some of the insights, and responding to people on this Twitter thread. Well, somebody asked him, okay, but when is the settlement happening for Ripple? Well, he responded, and he said, in my opinion, sometime between March 1st and September, October of this year. So there we have a little bit better of a time frame, or a little bit sooner of a time frame than his initial answer from a couple of days ago, which said September, October. Now he's saying March 1st to September, October. Maybe that will be a little bit quicker of a time frame. I'm guessing the March 1st is probably the earliest that we would expect it based on when discovery is actually ending. So if you want to follow along with that story as well as all of these others that I covered, make sure you subscribe to the Late Night Grind community. Don't forget to hit that bell notification icon, and thank you so much for watching all the way to the end, giving it a big thumbs up. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next video.